All right. Welcome back. Here we are. Interview number one. So the first interview is going to be with Molly Green. Molly, I met when I was doing my health and life coach certification program. There you are, Molly. If you want to request to join, I'll let you in a second. So Molly, I met in my life and health coach certification program, and she is just such a fun person, as you will see in a minute. I don't know are you doing this from your Jules Candle account or Molly account? We'll see which one she joins from. But she's a coach like I am, but she also runs a family business where they make amazing, magical, beautiful candles. And that business is where I see a lot of her playfulness and creativity getting to come out. So, Jules, cool. It's going to be really fun. And it was actually Molly wrote a blog post through her Jules Candle business about how she was sick of trying to like fit into boxes. And one night she just like let her creativity flow with, she can explain it herself, I'm sure, but with her candle business. And that blog post is really what activated play back into my life. So without further ado, here comes Molly. All right. Should be loading. I don't know how long this takes. There we go.
Hi. Hi. Yeah, so
Hi.
to expand on that blog post, it was through my content creation. I was tired of like trying to fit the the sequence of social media kind of streamline rules. And I was like, well, I just want to make this kind of content. And so I started to.
Yay! And your content is really fun. Y'all should check out Jules Candle account for some just really images and graphics and breaking out of the box for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah. So Molly, do you want to like introduce yourself to people a little bit? This is live right now. I'm going to upload it to Facebook and other places later. So
awesome. Well, hello everyone. My name is Molly. As Ellen so gracefully introduced me, I am a life and a health coach. I consider myself to be a life purpose guide for people. I also am co-owner / runner, CEO, creative director of Jules Candles, which is a family business. It was my mom's business, and I resisted it for a long time because my heart wasn't ready to put myself into it. And then, I decided after a few events unfolded in my life that it was time for me to take it on. And I think that's because the business has always been a self-growth avenue, and it was time for me to grow into myself. So yeah, that's who I am. Well, not really. It's a part of what I do. There's lots of other things that I do in my life that I guess you could gather together to get an idea of who I am, but I think I'm a little bit different to everyone. So you just have to get to know me to know who I am.
For sure. Awesome. Thank you, Molly.
Yeah.
So hold on. There we go. I think diving right in, because I want people to get to know the playful side of you too. How would you define play? And I'm very curious because in your story this week, you said, I have a definition of play I don't think most people will expect. So I'm curious what you think people expect play to be defined as and how you define it.
I think sometimes the word play can make people uncomfortable because they have an idea of play being like a free spirit person who runs around in the woods naked, and like there can be definitions that make people want to hide inside. And for me, play is literally just living my life. It is incorporated into every aspect of my life, and I define play as exploring what makes me happy and not settling for anything else. So that changes all the time. You know, there are definitely themes in what makes me happy and like light up my heart and make me excited, but it is a never-ending exploration of how you can have more fun. And that gives play a much wider definition, I think, than what some people might close themselves off to at first, because it gives you the freedom to just decide what it means for you rather than thinking you have to do it a certain way.
I love that.
Thanks.
I love that so much. Like, it's just like what you were saying, it's just exploring life,
Mm-hmm.
finding the fun and the joy in that. And that's going to look different from every single person. And it's going to look different within each person, even from day to day.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday, playing tag with the girl I babysit might have been fun and playful. Today, it might be absolutely miserable for me, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So for you in your life currently, what are things that are fun and playful? Like how are you embodying play in your life right now?
Yeah, that's a great question. Let's see. How am I not embodying play?
We can start
So,
there too. We'll get there too.
yeah, right. So, I find a lot of fun in exploring esoteric avenues. So I just bought myself a new Oracle deck, and it's a Lemurian deck. So I'm playing with that sort of history and that sort of what some people would call fantasy. That makes me feel really fulfilled, and it also ignites my creativity. I've also started rewatching Stranger Things, which is very playful for me. I love embodying the spirit of children because they are curious, they are open, and they only know what feels good. You know, they're learning to define feelings, they're learning to define experiences. So you can really trust them in the moves that they make because they're going not by what they think is right or what they think they're supposed to do, but they're going by what feels good. And that is
Mm-hmm.
embodying play, which is also curiosity. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Music, always. That's hands down been, I think, my stability point throughout my entire life. You know, even when I've lost sight of what it means to feel fulfilled or happy or really just like awake, music has kind of been this like communicator for me. And it
Mm-hmm.
has allowed my spirit to tap into flow because
Mm-hmm.
it's so much more powerful than, at least for me, it like I don't know, music, like the sound of music is just, it gets my energy going.
Yeah.
So that for sure, like you had mentioned before, riding motorcycles. I met a partner who introduced me to that world, and I'm going out on a limb and learning to ride myself, which is something that I've always wanted to do. So it's nice to have a support system and an avenue for me to explore that, but you know, just not being afraid to try it. Reading, so much reading. There was
Mm-hmm.
one day where I was like, whoa, I feel really stupid because I was forgetting my words and I just felt really scattered. And I realized I was watching a lot of TV, which can be fun, but it was too much. And I was like, I just need to read. So I started picking up fantasy novels. And that, again, really helped me to ignite my creativity. And then I think that what I'm exploring right now, and this is probably going to, um, it's probably going to expand into some sort of coaching program that I offer in a specialty, but I'm learning how to co-create with a business through play and joy and through
Mm-hmm.
your personal purpose and your personal desires. Because there is so much structure in the business world, but we
Mm-hmm.
are given the opportunity to create something new that people want, that the world wants, that we all need together when you create or when you run your own business. And so I am tapping into play and tapping into fun in order to guide me in that direction and really like listening to the playfulness of the business as well for which direction to go in. What else? That's probably not it, but that's all that's coming to mind right now.
That's a lot, and that's beautiful. And it's like, it's amazing because you could ask someone that and they could be like, I don't know, just getting drunk. And I can go on about that sort of type of play. But I love that you are able to just, you have so many avenues of it in your life, which is so beautiful. And that's why I wanted you on. It's why I wanted you to be first.
Yeah.
And what you were saying about the business stuff, especially, I think like business, being an adult, adulting in the world, like that's all kind of that same framework of like things have to follow this certain formula and have to look this certain way, and like keeping up with the just keeping up with a business, keeping up
Yeah.
with being an adult. Like it takes a lot, and structures are useful for it, but you can get so lost in the structure that you
Yeah.
forget the joy of it. So I mean, the joy radiates through your Jules Candle account, absolutely, especially lately. And I
Yeah.
think that'll be like so valuable, you sharing that more with people.
Hmm. Yeah.
I'm
So
wondering, go ahead.
just to expand on that a little bit, because I think this is really important. There are so many different ways that you can play, like so many different ways. And it's just really important to pay attention to what it is that you like. And I know that that can be difficult for some people, especially if you grew up in an area where there were a lot of people trying to guide you in the direction that they wanted you to go. But I promise it's possible to tap into what it is and trust it, because I know from personal experience that once you follow the things that you really enjoy doing, the more fun you have, the more fun you attract,
Mhm.
but you will be supported. You know,
Yeah.
you start doing the things that you really like doing, and people will come into your life, or freaking podcasts will come into your life, or books, or TV shows, or something that you hear. It'll come into your life to kind of like give you that extra confirmation that what you're doing, you're supposed to be doing. Because when you have a lot of fun and when you're radiating from a place of love, that sort of energy transfers to other people, and the world needs it. You
Yeah.
know, you don't even have to do anything really,
Yeah.
and you don't have to try. Um, and it kind of reminded me when you were just talking about that, like the seriousness of it and the structure, there is definitely a balance. And I think it's totally natural to go through fluctuations with fun and play as well.
Hmm.
Um, this is just a part of the growth process. It's a part of, like, I call it exercising your muscles,
Yeah.
because I mean, even like me, yeah, my stuff sounds really, it looks really fun, and it's supposed to be from an outside perspective consistent. But internally, it's not always consistent, you know?
Hmm.
And I find myself getting really serious about my business because it is tied directly to my heart, which is a beautiful thing. But right now, I'm learning the lesson of that doesn't have to look a certain way either. You know,
Yeah.
I'm learning the lesson of also trusting divine timing, and where I am right now is perfect, and it's
Mhm.
exactly where it's supposed to be. But
Yeah.
that is like definitely a journey to integrate, you know,
Totally.
especially when you
Ongoing.
move so fast.
Yeah, we move so fast, we change so fast. What might be integrated one day might be out the window the next and need something new, a shift in ourselves. Absolutely. And I
Hmm.
love what you're saying too, that a lot of us, I think play, I was in the framework of mind of, oh, you stop playing when you're like a teenager and you start worrying about what other people think and look like, and you stop believing in magic and Santa Claus and all of that, which is a whole conversation. But
No way.
but but I'm realizing, so I'm a nanny for those of you who don't know watching, and I work with kids, and we do unschooling, which means it's like homeschooling but basically with no curriculum. We just play all day long, and through playing they learn about the world, they learn how to manage their emotions, their curiosity drives their learning really, and it's so beautiful. And I was talking with my mom and my nephew, and my nephew was so upset because he's in first grade now, and he's at school from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and he gets home and it's dinner time and then it's bedtime, he was saying. And he was like so upset on this phone call because he was like, I don't have time to play with my toys anymore. And I'm like, oh my goodness, the
Aww.
play doesn't stop when you're 15 years old. The play can stop when you're 8, 7, 6, 5 years old even, and I remember that feeling too when I started school, that you just like you lose the time and the value of playing. And I think there's a lot of amazing school curriculums now that are incorporating play and child-led learning a lot more, which is great. I'm getting on a soapbox now, but my
It's
point
okay.
is, to your point, that like a lot of people don't even know where to start with themselves because
Hmm.
it has been shut down for so long. And I
Hmm.
agree. It's just find something fun to do and
Yeah.
just do it. If you look silly, like even if you're just with yourself in your room and you want to like dance like spastically because it's just fun and
Yeah.
ridiculous or whatever that looks like for you, it's just
Also,
finding that fun thing to do and
yeah. And
starting
also,
there.
when you
Yeah.
start doing it, knowing that it's not supposed to feel comfortable at first. Like,
Yes,
it is
absolutely.
definitely going to feel scary before you start, even if it's just dancing in your room by yourself. You know, if you've been
Hmm.
really like not embracing that part of you. It doesn't have to be dancing either. This can literally be anything, but it's not supposed to feel comfortable at first. I just promise that once you do it, you're like, oh, this was a lot easier than I was making it up to be. Like, this made me feel really comfortable. This inspired me to now try this new thing. It doesn't have to be big, but just starting somewhere small and then knowing, of course, like, yeah, it's not gonna, I'm doing something new. It's not gonna feel great, like going into it. Starting it is just the main one. And I love what you said, curiosity drives learning. Because I think that's literally how I've been living my life, and I just didn't have that direct way of saying it.
Totally. And it's like reigniting that sense of curiosity and child wonder in adulthood. You don't always know where to start, and it's going to feel scary and uncomfortable because curiosity and wonder by nature is stepping into the unknown, and the unknown is scary. Yeah. I'm just going to mention real quick, I'm going to offer at the end of the month a workshop called The Power of Play, just to reignite and help guide that process of stepping back into play again in adulthood. So the link for that is in my bio. I'll be sharing more about that later this week. But if you're like, yes, I need more play in my life, there is a resource out there for you. But just starting with something fun for yourself today is a great place to begin.
Yeah.
So Molly, I'd love to shift a little bit in the conversation, if that's cool with you.
Yeah, go for it.
Kind of the arc of like, okay, play is amazing. We've established that, right? Here's all the fun, amazing ways Molly plays. Maybe they inspire some stuff for other people. I'm currently holding on to Winnie the Pooh to help with nerves. Thought I'd introduce him to everyone. But I'd love to acknowledge like the times when it's hard to play, and play maybe breaks us out of hard times. So what are some of the things either in the past or in the present that maybe have stopped you from playing, that have made you feel stuck, where like play was absent? And then how did you break out of those times?
Healing. Healing made me stuck. It's not stuck. For me, it's always, I'm hitting something that's been blocking me for a long time, and now I'm seeing it. But what it feels like in my body is frustration. It feels like tension. It feels like I'm short fused, and like I'm not enjoying the things that I normally do enjoy. Like things just seem more difficult. And that usually is the signal for me, like, okay, take a step back, like what's going on exactly? And then once I kind of figure it out, then I'm able to tap back into the openness and play. But this is where I think it's really valuable for people to have like therapy or coaching or something along those lines, because we do hit blocks. That's just a normal part of it. And it's very helpful to understand where those blocks are coming from. Because I've tried to like go to just do something that's fun, but when I'm not feeling great, but what I find is that it just feels like a Band-Aid. So I can do playful things. I can do things that like go to a concert that makes it feel like really fun, and it gives me that temporary relief. But I know that when I'm not doing the internal work for myself, that I'm not as present in those playful experiences. The one thing that has helped me a lot with that process, because it's just something that you have to do. I look at it like a video game, like quests. So that's incorporating play.
Okay.
Yeah. It's totally incorporating play. It's like, okay, my being is learning this new skill, right? Because something in my future, I can't see from that video game perspective because I am the character, but my being is getting ready for something, probably something I asked for, right? And it has to learn this skill, or it has to like let go of this past memory that's not serving me anymore, so that I can move forward into this joyful, expansive life that I'm already creating, but like, more. Why not? Yeah. So by giving myself that perspective of a video game, it's allowed me to, well, first of all, it's literally play. Develop a lot more like compassion for myself and self-love, and like, okay, well, what is it that my character needs? Do I need more rest? Do I need to be paying attention to my physical body? Like, do I need to exercise? Do I need to have, it's most of the time a difficult conversation that I need to have with somebody. Yeah. And then another playful thing that I've started to incorporate, and it's taken me some time, but now that I've done it, hopefully I can gift it to everybody that's watching. There is no such thing as hard experiences. I mean, yes, there is. There is. I didn't mean it like that, but it doesn't have to be hard. That word hard for me feels very resistant. It feels like a wall. So I use the word uncomfortable because I can sit through uncomfortable things. I can figure out uncomfortable things. You know, I've sat through tattoos. That's really uncomfortable. I'm not going to say it's hard because I still want them. And I don't want to like scare myself away from facing that temporary pain. So by choosing my words more carefully, like just uncomfortable or challenge, has allowed me a little bit more playful and expansive mindset about the ups and downs and the flow that we experience through our growth. Wow, I feel like I've been talking for a long time.
I know, I can't see the time. 20, we've been talking for 20 minutes.
Okay.
Not at all.
Okay.
Yeah. No, you said so many good things there. One of the things I really love that you said was sometimes when you're in those hard times, when you're just in those times that are, it is like a healing process, and you are very proactive about you're going through something tough, you're going to take it on and you're going to heal through it. Yeah. Not everyone has those tools or resources. Sometimes people are in a hard time and it might be like victim mentality or whatever. And that's just wherever people are at. It's neither right or wrong, good or bad. It's just wherever people are at with understanding what they're going through, you know? But when you're in those stuck, healing, dealing with shit places in life and your emotions and your psyche, I like what you said, that sometimes the play, the fun, like going to a music concert or something like that, it's like, yeah, that'll feel good for the moment, but it's not necessarily like everything is transformed after going to that music concert, you know? Sometimes you don't want to go and have that fun. And I think it's a balance of like let's say if you're like someone's really depressed, like I've dealt with a lot of depression in my life, where it's like you can get so stuck in like not wanting to have any fun, not wanting to have any fun, not wanting to do anything. And in those cases, like getting yourself to the music concert, getting yourself to go on a walk in the park with a friend that you have a lot of fun with, those are like activators, you know? So even if you are in a hard time and you need to like go through that hard time to get to the other side, to learn the lesson, to gain the things from the video game quest, as you put it, which I love, those moments of fun and play within that time can be like activators to help, I think, to like kind of help you move through it too. It's like one of the tools in your toolbox. Yes, there's the shadow work, there's understanding the trauma, there's being able to sit with hard feelings, have the difficult conversation, sit with the discomfort. And I like also your switch. I know I'm saying hard because it's okay. It's semantics, but I like your switch of discomfort for hard a lot too. It reminds me in like the psychedelic world, a shift from saying someone's had a bad trip to they had a challenging trip. They had to overcome within that context. It's the same thing in sober life as well. But what was my point? There's a lot of tools in the toolbox for getting through challenging times, and a lot of them are digging deep and doing the difficult, uncomfortable work. And I also think the like remembering to do something to try and activate joy again, even if it's not like I'm supposed to be going through a hard week right now because there's something here for me to learn, but also like I don't have to make myself more miserable. I can also like do something to bring myself joy in this time. That's going to activate a new tool for me to grow through this time with.
Yeah. And thank you for pointing that out. I forget that I've learned a lot about the nervous system lately because I've been reading the book How to Do the Work by the holistic psychologist. I can't remember her name. I just like know her as the holistic psychologist. And I highly recommend literally everybody read it because it gives you just so much like science and also very practical like understanding of everything that we're talking about, which can sometimes feel like really overwhelming. She just puts it in great words. But I've got a fight about me when it comes to personal issues. Like, right? Like I said, I don't have any tolerance for not feeling happy. And that is a nervous system response because not feeling happy is uncomfortable for me. So even that is something that I'm learning to grow with and find play in more uncomfortable emotions, not trying to run away from them or fix them right away. But when you were talking, I've lost track of some of the points that I wanted to hit, but they'll probably come up. I noticed the painting behind you. And I think art is probably a really great one to talk about, specifically because obviously I think things are very much one and the same. Like I see shadow work as a part of play and play as a part of shadow work. I don't see there being like necessarily a dichotomy between the two because there's such a natural flow that comes, for me at least, in the growth and whatever. Darkness to light is just a part of me. I'm mostly Scorpio, so it's like natural for me.
Yeah.
I understand it's not natural for everybody else, but what I wanted to say is the art, I'm not necessarily, you're great with painting and colors and all of that. It's an expression for you. I find a lot of expression through the written word. So like just something along those lines, especially when you don't feel like you do feel really depressed and it's difficult for you to get out of bed or like motivate yourself to do something. Or for me, I get a lot of anxiety. So when I'm feeling a ton of anxiety, I just know that that's like a lot of, for me, it's things I'm holding in. So writing, even if I don't know what I'm writing, it helps me to better understand what's going on inside. And I know that art is a playful way for people to do that for themselves too. I know my mom loves to paint. And in the Oracle deck that I just got, she said that her paintings helped her to communicate things that she was feeling but didn't understand in like a physical sense or a logical sense. And so she would just let herself get into it, and then she would step back and see her painting. So I think that's a great way for us to communicate with our inner playfulness children.
I am getting chills. I love everything that you're saying right now. I love what you're saying about using these playful modalities for healing. It's not about, if you're in the thick of something, and I think some of my conversations later today will really touch on this as well. But if like you're in the thick of something and like going through really tough stuff, yeah, you might not want to go to a concert. You might not want to go skipping through the park. You might not want to, like, whatever's fun for you. There's many different types. I'm reading this amazing book that it like classifies different types of play. It's so
called
cool.
Play.
Yeah, it's called play. It's awesome. But the ways that you're processing the difficult times, it doesn't have to, like, therapy is amazing, coaching is amazing, but it doesn't have to all be sitting and talking about the problems or like, and if you need to write about your problems or color about your problems, like it doesn't have to look a certain way. Like the writing can be complete gibberish.
Yeah, sometimes I write stories.
Yeah,
I just write stories.
And or like for me, here, this one I did, it says, I don't want to do hard things. I was like, I don't remember what this was about, but it's like, this is what came out. I was like, I don't want to do hard things, whatever hard thing I was having to do that week. And it's like, it doesn't have to look good. It's just giving yourself more modalities to express what you're going through. And I think that's where it's like play, you know, the definition can be so malleable. I started off this summit saying it's anything done purely for fun. But I also think having a playful energy with healing, with getting through hard times, where it's like, it might not be fun to like sit and like pour out your pain on like through colored pencils or for, it's not fun to sit with pain. Like it's just not, you know, that's just part of it. But you can do it in many, you can express yourself in many ways, just like a kid would. It's having that sense of child curiosity and expression, and not limiting your expression with adulthood concerns of if it looks good, if it sounds right, things like that, you know? If you need to scream into a pillow, have a temper tantrum on the bed, like things like that, letting yourself express unrestricted as a child would, within a safe context, of course. I consider that as like a playful way to do healing, even though it's not necessarily fun. It's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I totally know what you mean. Sorry, I was reading that comment.
Yeah, this is Anthony's mom. Hi, Sophia. I have to agree that painting can be a form of play. It has helped me express my feelings, especially when I'm stressed out or anxious. And Sophia, she does such beautiful paintings. We have her watercolors all over the house.
Oh,
Love
cool.
that.
What a
Yeah,
sweetie.
I'm so glad it helps you in that way.
I also have a question, and anybody
Mhm.
watching this, please feel free to answer. But can we all agree that curiosity and play are intrinsically, if not the same, very much intertwined?
I would say they're not the same, but they're extremely intertwined.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So, um, one of the things that I have also started to do is starting to put a question mark after statements or after
Mm.
thoughts or after things that I think I'm expected to do, because I think that we probably have a lot more choice in the things that we do or the things that we feel or the things that we think than we perceive that we do. So, for example, I guess like from a more macrocosm um, explanation in my business, like, okay, I have to post um, however many times a day, question mark, like, do I really? Or, man, I feel so tired today, question mark, do I really? Or, man, I've just been so like angry lately, question mark, am I really though? Because I think sometimes we get in emotional habit loops,
Hmm.
and incorporating a question mark after the statements that we're telling ourselves can invite that curiosity. If not, allow us to just look at it a little bit and be like, okay, well, I am angry. Do I need to like jump on my bed and smash my pillows? Like, do I need to scream right now? Is that really what I'm asking? Because I think we can perpetuate these experiences of difficulty for ourselves. Um, and maybe just inviting some curiosity can help us to move through it a little bit with more flow. So similar
Yeah.
to the art, but this question mark is just so easy. It's like, just like
I
make the
love
statements
that.
a question.
That's so valuable. I have never thought of it that way. And yet, like, okay, on a couple points there. So one, yes, when like, do I need to really like jump on the bed and scream into a pillow? Like, is that going to perpetuate and build my anger more, or is that going to help me release it? If you're in a state of emotional upset and you want to process it, doing I don't know if everyone's going to understand this, and if you're curious about what I'm saying but you don't get it, like please message me and I'm happy to send a voice memo to explain it more. But moving yourself into the state of observer for
Mm-hmm.
your processing. So if you're writing and journaling and you're scribbling all over the page and tearing up the paper, like we're referring to like anger right now, you know.
Sounds like fun.
Um, but it sounds like fun right now. But it's easy to get caught up in it and consumed in it, but you can also be an observer and observe, I am doing this thing and processing this emotion. I am not, this emotion is not me. I am
Mm-hmm.
experiencing this emotion. And in that
Mm-hmm.
way, it's like letting like the water move through that passage of the river. Like it doesn't get stuck there. It's just moving through. The land is not attaching to the water. It's not saying, I am the water. It's like the water is just moving through the land in that
Yeah.
way. So that was my one thing about what you said of like, do you really need to get caught up in that emotion or not? And
Mm-hmm.
then the question mark and the curiosity and play stuff, I think curiosity is an access point to play. And I
Mm-hmm.
think play, yeah. So I think having those question marks of like, I need to make 4 posts a week or a day or whatever it was, question mark, I need to make 4 posts a day.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what if you didn't do that? What if you
Yeah.
did something else? What if you
Yeah.
went live? What if you did XYZ other thing? And then there comes the play. There comes the
Mm-hmm.
invention, the improvisation, all of that stuff. So I think curiosity is that it's like Alice. She wouldn't have gone down that rabbit hole had she not been curious about the white rabbit. So
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
curiosity can lead us in some very interesting places, especially when we're not completely aware of what's making us so curious, but or the moves like long-term effect in our curiosity. But I think I don't know. I'm a full believer that literally everything is play. Like our soul is here playing the
Yes.
human experience.
Humans are the
Even
most playful beings on the planet,
yeah, I mean
scientifically.
even the
Yeah.
things that are quote unquote uncomfortable, once I really started like I don't know, becoming more secure in myself and developing my tools and finding a support system that I truly felt I was able to be my authentic self around and felt love for myself and by other people, for myself first. I'll just even end it with that. Then like everything just became really exciting for me, you know, even my growth periods, they became really playful and fun. But I think that what inspired me, I like more so than anything, was my curiosity about the statement that we are the ones who get to choose how we experience life. And after, you know, my experience with my marriage and divorce and all of that, when she told me that you have to be willing to wake up in 10 years and realize nothing has changed, that triggered the entire evolution of my life. Because she's right. Like, it's all right. You get to choose. You don't get to choose your external experiences, but you get to choose how you feel about yourself and how you feel about the choices you make and how you feel about your life and how you feel in your life. And I know that sometimes those external circumstances, I'm sure, I mean, I understand where I come from. I understand my life situation, and I think it's a gift that I get to give others. Starting at this point, I get to be kind of that beacon of light and that possibility openness for people to see and hold that vision for people. But like, there is so much power, personal power, in taking that power for how you want to feel. And then when I dove into that curiosity, that's what led me to play, I think. Play again, really.
Beautiful. Thank you, Molly.
Yeah.
We're almost at the 45-minute mark, and I want to keep these at about 45 minutes so that it feels approachable to rewatch.
Yeah.
So we've said so much about play. I guess, is there any like advice or any other like words of wisdom you'd like to give people about the value of play in their life, how to incorporate play, just anything else that you're like, I want to share this. I know you had said something about you thought play was the secret to success and longevity. Anything else you'd like to share?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of wisdom behind learning about the nervous system and how the body works. I think there's a lot of value in starting there, honestly, because if you're in a stressed state, and most of us are, if you just look at the state of our world, that we're experiencing a collective trauma most of the time. And if you're in that stress state, it will be a lot harder to see the possibility of where play can come in or to feel connected to it. And it's not difficult to relax your nervous system. It just requires a little bit of awareness and patience and some willingness to start. Just breathing. Just breathing and paying attention to the quality of your breath can really relax your nervous system. But I think that would be for people who are really feeling as though this conversation feels scary to them, or as if it's like something that they'll never experience, that starting there is probably where it is. And there are so many resources for doing so. You know, YouTube has some beautiful guided meditations that are like literally 5 minutes long. Even just doing 5 minutes, 3 days a week is a start. 2 days a week is a start. 1 day a week is a start. And then what I like to say is follow the breadcrumbs. So it's basically following your curiosity. If something is sparking your interest, trust that and just look into it. You know, you don't have to go balls to the wall about everything that like makes you excited, but there are safe ways to explore things. The internet is researching on the internet's a pretty safe way to explore things. And then for me, like, following those breadcrumbs usually leads me to the thing that I've been like looking for, or the thing that I really needed, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. Thank you, Molly.
Yeah.
I think just touching on that stress thing, that's such a beautiful point, that a lot of times it's like our nervous system is too much in a state of stress. I have to get this done. Oh my God, COVID. Oh my God, whatever is going on in the world. Like, oh my God, whatever's going on in my life, budgeting, have to get the groceries, have to get to work on time, like all of that. Like in the body, it gets trapped in the body, and it can be very hard to even conceive of like, doing something just fun or like just being curious, and like it can be very hard to conceive of that when your body is in that stress state. So yeah, even simple like breathing in for counts of 5, holding count of 5, releasing on a count of 7, 10 times can be
Mm-hmm.
enough for like 2 minutes to shift yourself into that, what is it, the parasympathetic nervous system.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the stress relief. And then once you had that shift, it's been shown, I don't remember the exact statistic, but adults who play have significant stress relief compared to adults who don't. So play in it of itself is a
Yeah.
relief from that
And
stress,
when
which is
you
great.
when you experience play, the longevity part comes from
Mhm.
the chemicals that are released in your body when you're experiencing joy and love and fulfillment. They're incredibly healing for the body. Like
Mhm.
I think the future of medicine will go in that direction where we understand, holy crap, we can live to over 200 years old if we're not stressed out about like the things that are the things that we don't that need question marks behind them a
Yeah.
lot of the time. Um, and I'm a firm believer that I'll be at least living to 150. So here we go. Let's
Love
get
it.
playful with how that's going to happen. It's definitely going
I love it.
to happen.
Amazing. Thank you,
Yeah, you're
Molly.
welcome.
Um, well, unless there's anything else you want to share about play, how can people find you? How can they interact with you about your candles, your coaching,
Yeah.
just get more of your awesomeness?
Yeah, definitely follow Instagram accounts that embody the sense of play, that make you feel happy. Clear out your Instagram feed of all things that make you feel like poopy because it's not worth it. It's just not worth
And
it.
your
So
email
definitely
feed and the news feed. Yeah.
all of that, just like you really don't question mark it. You don't need it. My Jules Candles account is the account that I'm doing this live from, but it's just JULS.candles. We've got a full website as well as a Facebook that I'm not really on, but Instagram posts to Facebook. So here we are. And then my personal account is Molly McNugget, MOLLY_MIC_nugget. And I do like some of my coaching stuff, but I prioritize my creative expression on the Instagram stuff. So I do have time to separate myself. So not as much stuff on there, but I also offer coaching. However, definitely do Ellen's Playful program because that is going to be beyond valuable. And yeah, that's it. Like if you want any support or if you like what I said or whatever, just send me a message. Ask me any questions you have. I'm definitely interested in connecting a lot more. Yeah, with anybody who wants to, really.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you,
Molly's
Ellen.
such a wonderful person to connect to. She's an incredible coach. And yeah, and like you said, I'm offering a power of play activation workshop. It'll be starting November 28th. It'll be 4 Sundays leading up to the holiday or through the holiday season, I guess, from 2 to 4 Central.
Mm-hmm.
And you can find more information about that at the link in my bio. I also have a blog where I write more in depth about things, and I publish on that once or twice a month
Mm-hmm.
for more complete ideas than
Yeah.
are appropriate for Instagram posts. So,
One more thing. Self-care is
yeah,
play, guys. Self-care
yes,
is play. It is not
yeah,
just taking a bubble bath or
no,
doing a
it's not. And if sitting and meditating feels really boring and restrictive and like it's making you more miserable, don't meditate that
yeah,
day. Go
go do
dance in the
something
park,
else.
or go wrestle with your partner, or play with your cat, or like whatever.
Yeah. Play
Like,
DDR. Did anybody ever play Dance Dance Revolution?
oh
Because
my God, yeah,
we should
totally. I
bring
want
that
to get
back.
that again. I want to get Dance Dance Revolution seriously. That's so much fun.
I'm gonna bring out that PS2 and bring out some Dance Dance Revolution.
Totally, totally.
Heck yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for doing this, Molly. I'm so happy to have
Yeah.
you on and to have
Thank you
started
for
with you
having me.
today. For anyone watching, we have 3 more interviews to go. The next one will be with my friend Chris in 15 minutes, starting at noon Central. He's a musician. We're going to dive more into, I think, play and mental health, and also how trying to be cool stops you from being able to play and be
I
self-expressed.
hate that word cool.
Oh yeah, it's going to be fun. But yeah, I think that's all. I'm going to be saving this video to my Instagram. Molly, I can send you the file if you want it for your stuff.
Yes,
And it'll be uploaded to Facebook. So
yay. This
seeing
was so
this,
much
this
fun.
will be
I love this.
anyway.
I love you so much. I think you're the
I
cool.
love you too. Thank you.
Even though I hate that word. I don't really hate that word, but it's a good word.
It's redefining cool. Like
Yeah.
there's the cool in like the middle school bratty shitty cool, and then there's the cool of like people who are just loving their life. And
Yeah. Dusty uses the word neat to describe things that are beyond cool. He's like
that.
yeah, neat, because it's like intricate and stuff.
Oh, I like that. Maybe I'll start doing that. I use wild instead of crazy.
I do like that word too. Okay. We're at 45 minutes. Okay.
Mom,
love you.
bye everyone. Thank you.